Hey there viewers, it's Charlie. I'm back again with another Transformers review. And today's review is going to be on Age of the Primes, Alchemist Prime. So yeah, we got another one of the 13 here. With this one being Macadam, or Alchemist Prime if you want to be boring, but come on, it's Macadam, you know, Macadam's old oil house. So yeah. Anyway, looking at the box. So of course, standard Age of the Primes packaging, which, hot take, I actually really like the style of box. So yeah. But anyway, we've got Alchemist here in both modes. The 13 Alchemist Prime, got his symbol right there. Of course, since he's a Prime, we got this nice gold here. 17 steps to transform him. Here we got a picture of him. His face is honestly kind of funny because he's got this nice mustache here. Just so I've got some of the primes, including Alchemist himself. The back, got them in both modes, including these little glasses, which I'm pretty sure they're called the lens. So we've got that going on. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. And we're looking at the figure. Well, he pretty much transforms into a Humvee. Like, when I first saw this, my initial thoughts were, that looks like Prime Ratchet. And not, well, some people are saying that this looks like Prime Bulkhead's vehicle mode, but for me, this kind of looks like Prime Ratchet, but that might just be a me thing. But still, I quite like how this vehicle mode looks. Although, I would have preferred if he had, like, his vehicle mode from the Cyberverse show. If you know, you know. But still, this looks pretty cool. So, of course, the front, well, we've got this nice, we've got these headlights, which you like. Of course, got the bumper here. Honestly, I'm kind of expecting like a Land Rover logo up here, but of course, we don't have that, you know, it's not a licensed vehicle mode. We just have these little yellow things here. These are going to be the kneecaps in robot mode, or the shin pads. The wheels, which unfortunately are not pinned in, they're just pegged in. And it does remind me of another figure. In fact, a lot of stuff in this guy reminds me of a certain other figure, which we'll get to later. The back, I mean, we do have some details, but the fists are just right there. And on my copy, the hands just do not go in fully, unfortunately. Like, I've tried and, well, yeah, you'll see in the robot mode. But anyway, the top looks really nice. Of course, we've got ports here for the accessory storage. And the underneath is pretty simple. So, yeah. In fact, we do have some vehicle mode detailing right here, which is pretty cool. So, yeah. Overall, I do like how this vehicle mode looks. Like, if I was to rank all the current Prime vehicle modes, this one would be probably in the middle. Like, I feel like Megatronus would be pretty high. This one will be, like, somewhere in the middle. But yeah, I do like how this looks. Gives me, like, Hound vibes, to be honest. Because it's just, like, a little... It kind of looks like a troop transport vehicle, to be honest. So, yeah. And we're looking at the accessory, or accessories. Of course, we have the lenses. I think it's just called the lens. And honestly, it looks like what you use when they're testing your vision at the opticians, you know. Like you'd see through it if it'll work here. And they'll like use different lenses to test your vision, you know. It reminds me of that. I think that's what this is meant to reference. But we can see we got his symbol right here, got an ancient Autobot symbol here on this side, and got a Unicron symbol on this side. And we can also split this, so they can also be little blades. And we can also just plug these on the top, because why not? Right. Okay, they can't go in that way, unfortunately. I thought they could. And I keep dropping them. But it can plug on top here. So you got that going on. So yeah. Not really much else to say about this vehicle mode. Overall, I quite like it. It doesn't beat his alternate mode from Cyberverse, but still, I quite like how this looks. So yeah. Although I do wish he had pinned wheels. Yeah, he doesn't roll fully. Like, he still rolls pretty well, but like, if you give it a good push, then yeah, it does roll pretty well, but it's just kind of weird seeing pegged in wheels again after seeing a lot of pinned in wheels recently, so yeah. But well, that's pretty much it for the vehicle mode. So yeah, overall I quite like it, so let's move on to the transformation. And again, some bits of this transformation remind me of a certain other figure, which we'll talk about later, but anyway, to start this off, I'm just going to take the windshield here. Let's try and unpack that. So lift this up, unpack that, and move that down. And I guess if you want, you can plug in a weapon here, because there's a port there. But yeah, we just move the windshield down to the front. Come here and just unpack the sides. Move these down. Let's just get the hands out. Then we can unpack these and get the arms out. Push the shoulders in on this hinge. Then rotate all this up on this hinge. We got that going on. And then we can do the legs. So the feet move down, and I'm going to split these. Then all this will close up. For a nice satisfying. That's a satisfying click. Like, you hear that? Oh, I love that. That is satisfying. The waist just turns around. The arms move down. And believe it or not, we're nearly done already. Yeah, this is quite a simple transformation. So we just open the chest up, get the head out. And here we have Alchemist Prime in robot modes. And yeah, quite a simple transformation. And one that's quite reminiscent of... Yeah, this figure actually reminds me of Earthrise Ironhide in quite a few ways, which we'll talk about later, I do promise. But for now, let's just talk about Alchemist here. And yeah, he does look pretty good. I do like the little Robotnik face that he's got, which I'll show later. I mean, 360. Of course, we do have support, say if you want to plug in like weaponizers or... Well, there's no weaponizer equivalent for Age of the Primes, unfortunately. I think my Cronus' little exosuit is gonna be like splitting apart, if I remember correctly. So maybe that, I don't know. But we do have some like ports here, so you can still plug in like weaponizers and fossilizers and junkions and armorizers and all that crap. And now for the face. There we go. There's Robotnik in all his glory. Because come on, he's got like, the goggles, he's got the mustache, he's got the little goatee there. I love that face. So, yeah. And of course, we can give him the accessories. The storage, I don't know. We can just have them on the... Yeah, like, I don't know how you'd store these, but he can hold them. So these can be normal blades if you want. So you can do that. Or what we can do, if we just have his arms out forwards, then rotate the forearms in, then connect the lens together. You can now hold it like this. So I don't know, you can use them as binoculars or something. But hey, that's something that you can do, and this is how I have them displayed, because why would he use them as blades? I have no idea. Like, that's always just going to be a play feature for kids, you know? But, hey, this is also pretty cool. Oh yeah, that can also come undone pretty easily, so there's that. I guess I should talk about the elephant in the room here. This guy feels kind of off when compared to figures nowadays. And like, when I say that, he feels like Earthrise and Ironhide. Now, he's not a retool, like, not at all, but he just feels like Siege and Earthrise Ironhide. Like, seriously. Like, he's got the hollow forearms here, as you can see. And I think the main thing, you see how the legs transform? I can actually get this open again. Exact same, like, leg transformation here, except Alchemist's foot actually hides away in robot mode, or vehicle mode. My brain is just not working, but you see, they both have, like, panels that close up for robot modes. And plus, they do feel pretty similar. So yeah, Alchemist does kind of feel like a War for Cybertron trilogy figure. Right down to having, like, lots of ports everywhere. Like, yeah, the ports never really went anywhere after the Kingdom, but still. It's kind of weird, honestly. And it makes him feel kind of iffy, to be honest. Like, if I take one of these pieces off, part of the transformation is you're meant to fold up the hand. Well, on my copy, these just do not fold away. And in fact, when I do that, if you can see, it stresses the bloody plastic. It's probably not even showing on camera. But when I do it, it actually stresses out the plastic. So I just go with doing that. But yeah, that is quite crummy, so yeah. Plus, as I have showed, this guy is hollow in a lot of noticeable places, such as here in the forearms, and even here in the legs, especially if you just open them up. There we go. God, I can not speak. So yeah, he kind of feels more like a figure from like Earthrise or something. So, yeah, I don't know if it's because, like, Vortex was eating the budget for this wave or something. I don't know. Because keep in mind, like, the other figures with Vortex, who keep in mind, is a combiner limb, and also Crasher, who's just a reissue of a figure from a previous line. So, yeah. But this is how he poses. Well, he kind of like side to side. In fact, the whole head's on a ball joint, so... Well, that could also be because the head also folds in. The arms can move, like so. Yeah, he can T-pose. If you want, I can unpeg if you want these to be lower. I don't know why you'd want that, though. So, of course, he's got elbows. Unfortunately, the wrists don't rotate, but they can go in. Got bicep rotation. Waist rotation due to the transformation. He can kick forward, he can kick back. Knee about there. Swivel there at the thigh. Pretty good pivot. And he can do the splits. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, decent posing at least. Like, they didn't really skip anything out apart from the wrists, but yeah, this guy just kind of feels off in my opinion. Like, he's not a bad figure, don't get me wrong, he just feels kind of weird. Like, as I said, he feels like Earthrise Ironhide. But this is still a good figure in my opinion. Like, he looks good in both modes, he's fun to pose. I love the lens accessories, and in fact, let's actually have him pose like that, so... Just gonna connect these, there we go. And yeah, I love the lens accessories, like, the fact that all the primes are coming with the, like, artifacts is just really cool. So yeah, I do feel that this is one of the weaker primes, but I still feel he's better than Soulless in my opinion. So yeah, my complaints... Just the fact that he feels kind of weird, in my opinion. But for physical complaints, I don't like the fact that my copy's hands just don't go in properly. That could be my copy. That I'm not sure if it's like widespread, or if it's just my copy, but still a QC frick up on their end. So, but well, further complaints. Honestly, I just kind of wish that he was in, like, Cyberverse colors, you know, like the orange. But, I don't know, maybe, like, a repaint down the line. Like, they could do, like, Macadam in orange, because keep in mind, this is called Alchemist Prime, you know? But, well, do I recommend this figure? Well, honestly, if you're going to collect all 13 primes, then obviously, well, you're going to need this guy, aren't you? But if you're just collecting the line casually, then I feel that this is still a fun desk toy. Like, he's fun to transform. I especially love fiddling with the windshield here, because, you know, you can just fold that down and plug in a weapon if you want. So yeah, this is a fun desk toy. Like, he's not the greatest figure, but he's still quite fun. I would still recommend him. He's just not one of the greatest figures, but he is still a fun desk toy in my opinion. So, yeah. Well, this has been my review on Age of the Prime's Alchemist Prime, and this is Charlie Young, signing off.